What is up, everybody? This is Ben Martin with the Where Are They Going podcast. I wanted to start off this episode with a few updates for the series, one being we're now on Spotify. This does remove the video portion, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal, and it distributes to a wider audience, so I think it's a win scenario. Second update being I don't have a unlimited supply of college athletes, so I'm going to start getting some people who have played high school sports on here, but aren't going on to play at the NCAA level in college. They still have good sports stories, and I think they deserve to be broadcasted. So I'm going to start getting some of those people on here. Although with this episode, Logan Pfannenbecker is not one of those people because he's playing at Manhattan College. Now into the episode. What's up, everybody? This is Ben Martin with the Where Are They Going podcast, episode 13. I'm with my guy, Logan Pfannenbecker. Logan, say what's up.
What's going on?
Let's jump into these questions like we always do. When did you start playing baseball?
I probably started right around when I was 4. T-ball in our local town. And then just from there, kind of just kept on going.
And why baseball over any other sport?
Well, I'm a pretty short guy. I'm like 5'9", so football was never really it. I played a little bit basketball. Wasn't tall enough to, play in high school and whatnot. And I just kind of fell in love with catching. Being in every single play was something that I loved about it, and I just kind of kept on going with it.
And you kind of already answered my next question about what positions do you play, but do you do anything else besides catching on the field?
No, not really. Catching is kind of where I was put. When I was a kid, one of my teams needed a catcher, and I raised my hand. I just kind of went back there and got beat up for a game, but kind of fell in love with it, being the psychopath that I am. So, yeah, I mean, I've played short, center, like all the outfield positions, just growing up. But once I got into the higher competition levels, I always stuck with catching.
And what do you like and not like about catching?
What I love about catching is about being in every single play. I mean, if I was a right fielder, I probably wouldn't be playing baseball today, honestly. Just like the fact that you have control of the game, everything flows through you. I like that part about the game. You control everything on the field, what's going on, directional positioning, pitch calling, just stuff like that. But the stuff I don't like about catching is it can be a lot. It's a very demanding position. All eyes are on you, kind of thing. It's your job to stop the ball. They say be a wall for a reason. So you got to put your body on the line more than once during maybe a single inning, definitely more than once during a game. And it can be difficult because then you get all that pressure on you. It's just how you balance and manage that pressure is kind of what distinguishes some kids from others.
What do you do when you're not playing baseball?
I'm training for baseball. When I'm up at college and even when I'm home, you gotta prep your meals right. You gotta make sure you're watching what you're eating. You gotta be in the weight room training. You gotta be on the field getting that extra work in. Here at home, I have a cage in my basement that a lot of the guys from Amity and a lot of my buddies just from around the baseball world have come over and hit, and we'll be hitting until 11:30, 12 o'clock at night some nights. just getting our extra work in, because you can put all the work in you want in at practice, but it's really what you do off the field. So basically, off the field is training. I might run up some Warzone with the boys here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
This question kind of plays off the last one. Do you have any odd or interesting talents?
I can make a mean egg. Uh, I tend to cook breakfast for myself quite a bit. Just going off that last thing with preparing your meals and stuff like that. Um, I can make a real mean egg. My family members tend to laugh at me when I say that, but I'll probably make like 4 or 5, maybe 6 eggs, depending on the morning, and just go right into it. And so I guess you could call that a weird talent.
Yeah. Favorite baseball team?
For sure, the Yankees. They have definitely disappointed me this year. As some people might not think, I'm not a huge fan of the Joey Gallo trade, which is a hot take, but I absolutely loved the Yankees growing up. I would always go to the games. I just absolutely fell in love with the team. So
I'm just excited to see what my Mets can do at the trade deadline.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Maybe get another starting pitcher.
Maybe that's what the Yankees need.
Who do you model your game after?
Oh, growing up, no one in my family particularly was a catcher. My dad, he was a pitcher at Bucknell. My grandfather played, outfield. So, like within my family, I didn't really have anyone that I could watch. But, looking at from the professional level, I absolutely love JT Realmuto catching, and obviously on the offensive side as well. Just the way he receives, blocks, throws, 3 main points of catching. I absolutely fell in love with. I've been watching YouTube videos, watching, even games of his highlights, just when I get bored. Just kind of study the way he catches, the way he carries himself on the field as well. You never see him getting in any kind of trouble off the field. It's just a real stand-up guy.
Biggest influence off the field?
Oh, for sure, my dad. Me and my dad, I've never really had like a hitting coach or a catching coach or somebody to teach me how to throw. It was all my dad. My dad, like I said, he played college baseball at Bucknell University, which is a Division I in the Patriot League, and he has devoted so much time and money and energy into what me and my 2 other siblings have done with our athletic careers. My other sister, Ava, who I believe you have interviewed as well, she's going to Wesleyan. And my other sister, Sophia, she plays tennis at Cheshire Academy. He has devoted tons of time into making our athletic careers better. Whether it's, me and him putting together our cage down in the basement during COVID, whether it's, driving to Georgia for the Perfect Game National Tournament, or if it's even coming up to Manhattan when I'm not playing just to watch our team. He's done a lot, and I for sure and certainly look up to him off the field.
Now let's spin the question in the other direction. Biggest influence on the field?
It's definitely hard to pick out on the field because when you're on the field, you're worrying about playing for your teammates and stuff like that, playing for the fans and winning games. for your school or for your summer team, and working on personal development. But somebody that I really like to think I'm playing for, or thinking about while I'm on the field, is my grandmother and my great grandmother. My great grandmother recently passed away when I was a sophomore in high school, and she always told me to be the first in my class, and if you're not first, then you're last, type of situation. I mean, like, we've all heard it, but that really stuck with me, especially when she did pass. And she lived a long, good life, but as I've progressed through my academic and athletic career, I've always thought about that in the back of my head. Doing everything I possibly can to be the best player and best student I can possibly be. And then the same with my grandmother. My grandmother is still with us, um, but every single game, she'll text me before, after, like, "Are you playing today? I want to come watch." Oh, tough loss, great win, type of thing. She's always, feeding me too. My grandmother lives right down the road here in Woodbridge, from me, so I'll be over there for pregame meals, shakes. We do it all over there, and we get my body right from a energy standpoint. She cares a lot about our family. Being a heavy Italian family that we are. Um, Yeah, so those two people I really think about while I'm on the field, and who I'm playing for.
I'm sorry to hear that about your great grandmother, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's all right. She lived a long, good life. So,
Favorite moments from playing baseball?
oh man, there's a lot, and there are not a lot. It's a very, very tricky situation because baseball's, you don't hit a game-winning shot. You don't. It's not that type of situation. I'm like, you can obviously walk it off and do stuff like that, but I would definitely say some cool moments. When I did make the decision to go to Manhattan, that was a surreal moment for me. It was something that I've always been working for, especially when I got into high school and going to the high school that I went to. It was kind of like you go Division 1 or you don't, kind of thing. It's like they didn't really view Division 2 or Division 3 as high as going Division 1. So when I got my offer from Manhattan, it was definitely a surreal moment. It was a huge moment for my family, myself, my summer program that I was playing in a part of. Um, yeah, that was definitely one. When I was a kid, going down to Florida, um, when we were 12 years old and winning that tournament, there was like 180 plus teams down there, and we won the entire thing at ESPN. That was a pretty cool moment. And then recently, I have to give out a shout out to some of my Amity guys. To begin the summer, I was on a CCBL team called the Hampton Miners, and my last game with them, I hit a walk-off sac fly, and it was a very cool moment for me because it was like that first time I got that clutch swing off, and guys like Tanner Santos, Sebastian Holt, and Tyler McLean. Those guys were on that team, and we did hang out a lot. So that was a cool moment to pull through for them, and that was just some recent stuff.
I tried to go to a couple of those games for that team. And the one time I was going to go watch Sebastian and Tyler, and they told me they weren't playing, so I ended up going.
Yeah,
And
there's a lot of guys on that roster, part of the reason why I left. But no, it was definitely a fun time. I loved playing for that team. I've thought about going back multiple times just because it was fun. That's what baseball's supposed to be.
mm-hmm. And then the second time I went to one of those games, I went to the one in West Haven that got completely rained out.
Yeah, I was not on the roster then. I think my last game was when we were playing at Municipal Stadium against Brass City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought I saw a kid that looked like you in the outfield, but then I was like, why would they put him in the outfield?
Yeah, it's not Legion anymore. I'm done playing outfield.
Exactly. Take me through the college decision process. I know it was kind of a while ago for you, but still good information.
Yeah. My college process and my decision was not the easiest of roads to go on. Like I said, my boarding school, Avon Old Farms, had a lot of kids go through a high Division 1 commits. When they're sophomores in high school, freshmen in high school, they know where they're going immediately. My decision was not so easy. The summer going into my senior year, I still had no idea where I was going. It was an open book for me. I had a decent amount of options, but academics do play into that role of deciding where you go to college. It's not just all baseball, and it's just not all sports.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at schools like Bryant University in Rhode Island, Lafayette in Pennsylvania, obviously Manhattan, Quinnipiac, Fairfield, and there's a bunch of other small Division 1 schools that I was heavily considering. And then I got a call from my summer ball coach at Baseball U, which a lot of guys from around here go and play for. He gave me a call one of the nights in the summer, and this was like July. And my initial plan, my number one was Bryant University right off the bat, and then their coaches had left. I had stopped receiving phone calls, text messages from them, and they ended up going to Rutgers. And Bryant didn't decide who their new coaching staff would be until late August, maybe. So I had to look at other options. So when I got the call from my summer ball coach, Pat Vigilio at Baseball U, he had told me that Manhattan College wanted me to come to a camp. And I've done tons of camps. It was part of the recruiting process for me. Definitely would not recommend them to kids that are looking to do them. They are an absolute drag. But he just wanted me to be there because they were shocked I was still uncommitted. And Manhattan is in the MAC. We play Fairfield, Quinnipiac, small schools like that. And so I jumped on the opportunity. I went to the camp. I played well. Loved the head coach, Mike Cole. We had a great meeting, and then it kind of just all went forward from there. It suddenly became my number one option. I was getting a lot of attention from them. And then I went on my official visit, and I think it was late September, maybe like September 20, something like that, September 20th. And I remember committing the day after. And that was a huge deal because I was so done and sick and tired of the process just because of how long and devious and horrible it really is. I would never want my kids to go through the same process that I went through. And obviously, there's a lot I'm leaving out. Because it took a huge toll on me and my family. But I ended up, making I feel like the right decision to go to Manhattan. And then COVID happened. And so I committed right before COVID that September. So.
Mm-hmm. Now you kind of answered the next few questions, so I'm going to jump around a little bit. Do you see yourself playing in the MLB?
The MLB, I saw that question when you sent me the text message. Or
any other professional league.
Right. The MLB, has always been a dream for every single baseball player. Whether you like that answer or not, whenever you're a kid, growing up playing baseball, you're idolizing guys you watch on TV. So for me as a young age, when I was still playing every position on the field, it was Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera, just like all those great Yankees that I got to watch as a kid. And then as you become older, your goal is to get to college. For guys like me, I'm a mid to low level Division I baseball player, and that question has been asked me a ton. Um, and right now I am focused on starting for next year, starting on my team after redshirting this past year. Um, so it's definitely a difficult question to ask. I would love to go play professional baseball. What kid wouldn't? Get to go play a kid's game a little bit longer. Hold off the real world for another couple of years and whatnot. My dad, obviously all fathers believe their kid could go play professionally. But I'm playing this game as long as it will have me. Um, if that makes any sense. As long as the game, wants me around and still thinks I can play, I'll be playing it. So wherever that might take me, if it takes me through the minor league level and I, stop after a couple of years and go get a job and, use my education, um, then yeah, we'll see where it goes. But right now I'm focused on this upcoming season at Manhattan, making sure that we can, possibly be the best team that we can be.
That's the first time I've ever gotten an answer like that to that question, and I think it's one of the answers I've liked the best to that question.
There we go. Yeah, it's a difficult question. You think you can play professional baseball, and then you're just happy playing it some days. So,
what do you see yourself doing aside from sports in the future?
that is another good question. So, obviously, with my family being in the position it is, they love to know what is going on. So I get asked, what my major is all the freaking time. Um, I'm a business major at Manhattan. It's one of the two very good schools at Manhattan, along with engineering. Um, so I've always given thought to what I want to do. If it involves baseball, it involves baseball. I'm really not going to complain. I love this game. If I end up being a coach somewhere, I'm not going to complain at all. Um, but I would love to go back to my family business, my family company, Connecticut Stone in Milford, Connecticut. It's something that my great grandfather started and passed it down to my grandfather. My mother, aunt, and uncle all work there today. I've worked there for a number of years. This past summer, I decided to work somewhere else. However, um, but I would love to go back. Being a part of that tradition, being part of that um, life. It's always something that I've looked up to. Uh, being a kid on forklifts, driving around, having a good time, but also doing your work and getting it done and making sure that the family is making money is always something that I've looked forward to.
Advice to younger baseball players.
Do what you love. This game is. I could say some bad words right now, but this game can be mean. It's a game based off of failure, so it's crazy. You go 3 for 10 and you're a Hall of Famer. You've always heard that expression. Um, and especially with catching, man, you get beat up. Don't think you don't. You wear a chest protector, helmet, and shin guards for a freaking reason. Um, You get beat up playing the position I play. So you just got to fall in love with what you fall in love with. If it's playing short, do what you do at the highest level and the best level that you could possibly do. If it's hitting, work at it. Do what you love. You always do better at something that you love, and I'm a firm believer in that. Uh, I work at hitting almost every single day. Trying to get my body right every single day. I got to go to PT soon, up in Danbury. Then that's just stuff that I love. Just playing at the highest level I could possibly play at, and yeah, just continue doing what you love and look up to people. It's not all about you. Other people are there to help you along and use them, use their advice, use their wisdom. It's certainly what I do and still am trying to do, is be a coachable kid. So,
Biggest strength in your game?
I would definitely say it's catching. Um, in high school, I was a great catcher. Um, I was definitely one of those defensive guys that you could put behind the plate and rely on for 7 or 9 innings. And I would do my job. I would receive real well, block real well, throw real well. And I still do all of those things behind the plate. Just as the pitching gets higher. And the league I'm in right now has really pushed me past a level I've never seen before. I am currently playing in the NECBL, which is a step below the Cape. And that has definitely pushed me. I went from, not catching at all during COVID. I missed about a year of not catching 90 to 95. And now seeing, 88 to 90 is slow in the summer league I'm playing. So just being able to adapt, to do everything I can. I'm catching bullpens like all the time, throwing every single day, trying to get my arm strength up. Part of the reason why I'm called to be PT. But yeah, no, definitely catching is one of my strengths, but it's still something I work at every day. It's not one of those things that, I'm good at and I'm going to stop working at it. And go to the field with an open mind, trying to get better at a little thing every single day. And that's just how you progress as a player.
Now let's spin this question the other direction. Biggest weakness in your game?
Hopefully none of my opposing pitchers are listening to this, but I absolutely hate the high and outside fastball from the left side. Being a switch hitter, which a lot of people may not have thought, you got to get the same amount of swings from each side of the plate every single day and every single time you hit. And there are definitely days that I work lefty more than I work righty, or I work righty more than I work lefty. And where that faults is my top hand on my left side. On my right side, it's my right hand, it's my dominant hand. But lefty, when I hit lefty, my left hand is my top hand and it's my far less dominant hand. It is definitely weaker, and it is more difficult to get on top of that high pitch and be able to drive it for power. I like to think I'm a low ball hitter from the left side, and I definitely love hitting lefty, and I love hitting righty. It's still why I switch hit today. And so I'll be able to drive the low ball, but definitely the high pitch is something that I absolutely hate about hitting.
Let's go back to something you said earlier about your grandma making you all the meals for pregame. If you had to pick a favorite one of those or a favorite couple of those, what would it be?
Well, my grandmother makes everything like a 5-star restaurant, and I've told her a number of times that she has to open up a restaurant, or else I'm going to go crazy. Um, she makes an unbelievable grilled chicken, and what we do is we slice that up, cooked to perfection, and we'll just throw it on a slice of Italian bread, and a couple of slices of that, make a sandwich, and throw, some cheddar cheese, jack cheese, whatever kind of cheese I am feeling that day, and I'll eat like 2 of those, and I'm good. That's a pretty good meal before I head out for my games. Um, Even when I'm up at school, my grandmother is sending me, I kid you not, like 9, 10, maybe even 11 Tupperwares containers of food um, for the week. Like Manhattan's not too far from here. It's about an hour and 15. So whenever my parents come up to visit, she'll send up the food. But there's chicken cutlets, there's steak, mashed potatoes, corn, broccoli. I mean, like all this stuff that I have really no business in deserving. But I guess being part of Italian family, you always got that grandmother who cooks. Um, but yeah, I love everything that she makes. She makes a great bacon, egg, and cheese as well. She makes great eggs. It's kind of where I learned how to make them from. Um, but yeah, no, I would eat literally everything that she makes, and I absolutely love it. So
Yeah, you're living the good life when it comes to pregame meals.
yeah, no, I am definitely one of the lucky ones. Not everybody has a grandmother like Grandma Kelly, but she is awesome, and she loves doing it. Like I'll go over there, I'll hang out with her for 2 hours before a game, and then I'll see her at the game, and she's still got food with her. So she absolutely loves the grind of baseball. I mean, like her husband played, her son played, her 2 daughters played softball, um, and now getting to watch her grandkids play is something that she loves to be a part of, and she definitely does everything she can or she can do to keep us on the field. So,
Any pregame superstitions?
um, for pregame superstitions, I definitely, huh. When I was a kid, my other grandmother, my father's side, um, she put a dollar in my sock when we were down in Florida at the ESPN World Series or whatever it was called, and we ended up winning it. So ever since then, I haven't put a dollar in my sock, but maybe I should start doing that again. Another one was like my father. He found a penny that was heads up, and he put it in my hat without me knowing it. And then I found it one day, and I was hitting unbelievable, and then I found it, and I like haven't been hitting as well since. So I mean, like, it's the stuff that I really don't know about. I feel like is the better luck for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll always listen to like country music on the drive up there. I'll be blasting that. Um, yeah, I mean, not too many superstitions. I try and lay off that kind of stuff just because baseball is such a weird game. I know you got to find your consistencies, but I just kind of go with the flow when I play. I'm a very loose, laid back player. So,
And you kind of talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What's your go-to pregame music?
it can vary. Definitely, it can vary. Like I said, I'm a loose, laid back player. So I love country music. When I was working out at the grind, when I was growing up, it was definitely on their speakers, and I was loving every second of it when I was 11, 12 years old. And ever since then, I've been going to concerts. I absolutely love Luke Bryan, Jason Aldean, and some of the iconic ones. But recently, I've gotten into this more off-stream country, red dirt country. It's more listened to down south, and I absolutely love it. So I'll listen to that all day long. Definitely, pregame stuff. But if I'm getting hyped up or whatever, I'll listen to rap and J. Cole. Absolutely love him.
Now, I always end every show with this question. Who do you want to see on the series next?
Well, I definitely know a good amount of Amity kids. There are some kids from my high school that I could recommend. Obviously, some kids from college. I'll probably stick with the Amity route. You probably should get Tanner Santos if you haven't gotten him yet.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, me and Tanner, we worked out a lot together this past winter. We were hitting off the machine almost every single day. It was probably the best I felt my swing. And then when we found out we were playing summer ball together, it was a great reunion. We played Legion together during COVID when everything was shut down. He goes to Babson. He's a shortstop there, as you know. But he's a great guy. Definitely a guy that I would want to stay in touch with throughout my years of playing baseball and obviously after baseball.
All right. Well, thank you, Logan, for your time. This has been episode 13 of the Where Are They Going podcast. Come back next week and we'll have someone else on here.
All right, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.